Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Wednesday. It's probably about 12 o'clock, and I'm up off of Camp Pandin Road, and we're at right there. And you know, last week or the last video I did, I walked along the Klong, and when I was coming back, I walked through a really cool area. And I thought, I'll come back and do a video here. So that's what I'm going to do today. Yeah, it's really a neat area. It's kind of been left the way it was for years, and some interesting stuff. So we'll walk through there and see what's going on. I want to thank everybody that came into the live stream Saturday. We had a really good time. Talked about some decent stuff. And if you're not doing anything this Saturday, 8 p.m. Bangkok time, we always have a live stream, and usually Charlie from Charlie's Travel comes in, and Greenie comes in, and a few other people. Really have a good time, and it's informal. We stay online for about an hour, unless there are a lot of questions and things, and then we'll stay on longer. And I want to thank everybody that's joined the channel. We're I gotta watch myself I don't get run over. We're over 9,000 subscribers now, and we're heading for 10,000. And I appreciate that from everybody. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where we're walking, and I'll tell you a few little stories. But a couple videos ago, when I did the video on the girl that got sentenced to life in prison for accepting the package of drugs that was pretty much meant for her boyfriend. Now, one of the subscribers gets his hair cut here. I can't remember who it was. Oh. Hey, man, no, that's not him sitting in there. But there were a few comments, from people that said, drugs should be made legal. Well, hello. I disagree with that. I think leniency towards the people who are addicted to drugs, I'm all for that, and get them some help, get them some rehabilitation. But the people that are selling this crap, I'm not so sure that things need to be so lenient on them. A lot of different places to eat here. Now, right there is the Klong that we walked the other day. And it's getting real busy over there. If you come, you best come by motorcycle, because it's really hard to find a place to park. This lady's out here hanging her laundry up. Hello. But Thailand has had a major problem with methamphetamine. Here they call it Yaa Baa. And I can understand why they're so harsh on it. It's a crazy drug, and that's what Yaa Baa, drug crazy, and that's what it means. And it's not only the Thai people; it's the foreigners too. The things that you read that people do under this, while they're under the influence of this drug, is just unbelievable. And I'll give you, for instance, and I don't know the exact time that this happened. I'm sure it was quite a few years ago, but I was reading about it yesterday on the internet. And apparently this guy, they said he was a Brit from Northern Ireland, and from best I can tell, he lived here in Pattaya, and had probably been there for some time, because he had an apartment and he had a motorcycle. Yeah, this thing has seen its better day. Parked right here with a wheelchair in it. Huh. But I'd say he'd been here for a while, and have no idea how long. The article didn't say. But based on the fact that he had an apartment and he had bought a motorcycle, I'd say he was not a tourist. So one night he he jumps on his motorcycle and decides to go down to the red light district in Pattaya. And it was about time for the bars to close up. It was pretty late at night. And he picks up this girl from out of the bar. She jumps on the back of his motorcycle, and they go to his apartment. And from what the article said, they got back to his apartment and they were partying and drinking and taking Yaa Baa. And, you know, I'm sure other things happened. But in the morning he wakes up and they get into an argument. And he ends up breaking a cue stick on her. And then they get in a big fight, and I mean they're fighting through the living room. At least that's what the article said. When the police finally got there, the place was a mess, blood everywhere and all that. But anyway, after he breaks hey little buddy, what do you got there? Oh, he's got one of those things from badminton. Don't be scared of me, I won't hurt you. But after he breaks the cue stick over, he grabs a machete and whacks the hell out of her, kills her. And he jumps on his motorcycle, leaves and jumps on his motorcycle. Well, apparently in his condition, he didn't get very far. He crashes a motorcycle. And the police come and they take him to the hospital. Unbeknownst of anything else that's going on, they take him to the hospital to get treated because he's banged up. While he's being, it's okay, buddy. I'm not going to steal your toy. I wonder what's down here. We'll walk down here a little ways. We're right on the other side of the Klong. But anyway, he's being treated by the nurse. And he just kind of nonchalantly mentions that he killed a girl back at his apartment. Well, naturally, I think this will take us right back out on the Klong. Yeah, it does. Takes us to the bridge. Interesting. Guess there's a number of different ways to get in here. Wow, it's pretty busy. Here's my lady from the other day. The new attraction. Well, anyway, we're going to go back out here on the road here because there's some really neat houses back in there. But anyway, she calls the police immediately, and they come back to the hospital and they load him up in the back of a pickup truck, take him back to his apartment, and this guy's delirious. He's just going through, just the normal meth reactions that you get, paranoid and just kind of, they described him as a crazy Farang, which he probably was. But anyway, they get him back there, and he tells them, he said he killed her, and said they got into an argument and had been doing drugs all night, and that's what happened. They chained him up in the back of the pickup truck, and there's a picture there. I'll leave a link to the article, and so you can read it and look at the pictures. But he's chained up in the back of a pickup truck, and they haul him off to jail, which is where he, naturally where he belongs. There's no, like I said, most of the time with Thai news, you hear about it and then you never hear what happens after that. So there's no follow-up story of what he was sentenced to or what he was convicted of. Now, I don't know here in Thailand if being on a drug craze is a legal defense. I don't know. So I don't know whether he used that or Hello. Oh, she got her vegetables. Yeah. I don't know if that's a legal defense or not. I know in the United States it's not. You can claim an insanity defense. And I'm going to tell you about a case that I worked as well. Back in, I think it was 1997, 1998. And you know, we hear about this stuff and we think, well, you know, the victim's lifestyle contributed to what happened to him. And you know, I'll be honest with you, 98 times out of 100, that's generally the case. You know, people lead a lifestyle and it gets them in trouble. I don't know what's going to be down there. I think we'll keep walking this way. But hope this guy's on a chain. He don't have no chain. We'll see if he's friendly or not. Hey, buddy, I'm okay. I'm not going to bother you. Yeah, you're more scared of me than I am of you. It's okay. I'm not going to bother you. But the case I'm going to tell you about, it was really a heartbreaking case. I was headed home, and it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. A call comes over the radio that there'd been a shooting. And it wasn't far from where I was at, so I shot over there just as fast as I could. And well, this is neat. See, I don't know how I'm going to get in and out of here, but we'll figure something out. But anyway, I pull in and I pull right in behind what I assume was my sheriff's car. You know, it was a police car parked in the middle of the road with the door open. One of the patrol officers had already got there, and EMS was already on the scene when I pulled in. I was like the third person to get here. Well, I think we'll walk down this way. I don't know. I want to get to the other side. I may walk back up and cross over that bridge and get on the other side. Or, yeah, there's another bridge down here. I'll cross over that one. We walked this the other day. But anyway, I come pulling in and I can see I've got one body laying on the ground right next to a car, and they're working on him. And I asked the officer, I said, what happened? He kind of pointed in the direction of the, around the house, said he's gone that way. And when I saw the car in front of me, like I said, it was my sheriff's car. So I figured my sheriff had got here before I did, and he had jumped out of the car and chased him through the woods, because he was kind of athletic. And hello. Hey. And so I figured I better get my butt out there quick. So I grabbed my shotgun out from underneath the seat. I had a shotgun with a pistol grip on it. I grabbed that and racked around into it. And as I was coming by his car, I thought, God, we need a helicopter up here quick. And so I reached inside of his car, grabbed his microphone, and just got on the radio and said, get me a helicopter down here as fast as you can. We've got one guy in the woods. And it was a rural area that we were in, but there were houses around. So I after I did that, I just threw the microphone down on the seat and run around the side of the house and wanted to catch up with them if I was if I was close to them. I couldn't see anybody, and I got to the backyard of a house, and this lady was out there, and I said, did you see anybody come through here? And she told me that one guy had come through and going to his house, and she knew the guy. He lived about 3 or 4 houses away. So by that time I had kind of heard over the radio that that was not my sheriff's car. What had happened was, hello, I'm going to get on this side because there's a really neat bridge on the other side. Hello. Hello. What had happened was we're only like 13 miles from the border of Georgia, and a Georgia game warden had parked his car in front of his house, and oftentimes we have what we call a butt key that will leave in the ignition, and you know, you saw part of it off and it just kind of fits in there, and it's kind of hard to tell there's a key in there, but we do that so when we get out of the car we can leave the car running and lock the door up and leave the car running, and then you know, you have another key to get in the door. Well, apparently he had parked his car in his driveway, and according to his son, a guy pulled up in a pickup truck and drove his truck into a field across the street from his house, got out of his truck, no shirt on, and ran up to the car, got in it, and just drove it off. Drove the Georgia Wildlife Patrol car off, which had an M16 in the trunk with about 1,000 rounds of ammunition, a shotgun, and a .38 caliber pistol. Hello. Tucked up under the seat, and the car took off. Well, the first thing kid did was, his dad wasn't home. He called his dad and told him, and they had been hunting the car. And what this guy had done is he had come, like I said, he only lived maybe 5 or 6 blocks from where this happened. He had pulled up in front of the house and got out of the car. And these kids are 2 kids. One was 19 and the other one was 17. The 19-year-old lived there with his grandfather and his wife. He had just recently got married. And come to find out, I was very good friends with his mother. His mother was a waitress at one of the restaurants that we ate at. But anyway, he gets out of the car, walks up to the 2 kids and say, "Where are my sons?" This guy had a son, 13, and another kid, 15. And they didn't know who his kids were. They didn't even know who he was. They thought he was a cop. And the 19-year-old says, he says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Your kids aren't here. I don't know anything about it." And he no sooner stopped his words, and the guy pulled the .38 up and leveled it at his head and pulled the trigger, and killed him deader than a doornail right there in the driveway. He grabs the other kid. The other kid's freaking out. He pushes him around to the back of the house. Well, the kid gets around the corner from him and just runs as fast as he could. And the guy takes off. The kid gets into the house, gets back into the house where the grandfather was, and the grandfather loads a shotgun up, thinking that the kid might come back, or the guy might come back. But he didn't. And by that time, I hear a helicopter flying overhead. And apparently, I had got on the Georgia Wildlife frequency and asked for a helicopter. They already had one up, and they pinpointed the location of where their car was, and they sent a helicopter up, and he finally dropped down on the ground. I put one of my guys up in the helicopter, and we checked the area as best as we could. We found the guy's house and kicked the door into the house. He wasn't there. His son was there, and his son said, he hadn't seen him all day. But we stayed out until about dark, and then finally we just, we couldn't find him, so we all pulled back. We knew who he was. It identified him, and just kind of told everybody to, keep their eyes open. This guy's fishing. Looks like he caught a weed. But about 7:30, we get a call down in that end of the county that some people had come home and they'd found a guy just huddled up in their van, and they ran him off. And he was just walking down the street, and one of the lieutenant was the first one down there, and he pulls up, and sure enough, the guy's walking down the middle of the street with no shirt on. He's all sweaty and, you know, just cut up from the briars and stuff. So they went ahead and searched him down and cuffed him and threw him in the back of the car. And we were still at the office when that happened, so they dropped him off. This guy they come pulling the guy in, and we tried to talk to him. I mean, it was just there wasn't much sense in trying to get anything out of him. He was just kind of mumbling and just talking crazy, you know. And so we ended up charging him with second-degree murder. There were a couple other charges that we tacked on him as well, and took him to jail. So the case came to court, and it was about 6 months later. They had him mentally evaluated at the state hospital, and apparently he had tried to commit suicide. Oh, that's pretty neat. And they had put him in what they call Moccasin Bend. And Moccasin Bend is a mental hospital that you just don't want to go to. It's really horrible. But anyway, came time for the trial, and his attorney was trying to claim that he wasn't competent to stand trial, and he didn't know what his actions were at the time that he committed the crime. Which, had he not been on drugs, that might have been the case. Hello. I think she's wanting to get through there. There you go. Wow, there's all kinds of places back in here. We'll cross over this bridge. The water's running pretty good. But anyway, we had about a 3-day trial on it. And the jury didn't buy the the insane plea, because really he was definitely insane, but he was crazy because of the drugs that he had taken, and all the doctors said that. The guy was a successful businessman. He had a car dealership that he was selling used cars out of. He had a real nice house with a swimming pool, and just set up real nice. Well, let's see. I think we will walk to the right. Yeah, we've been talking too long. But anyway, he was found guilty. He was sentenced to 35 years in the state penitentiary. He's still there, from all that I know. The last time I had checked, they sentenced him to 25 years on the homicide, and we had also charged him with aggravated assault when he pointed the gun at the kid that lived, and they convicted him of that as well, and they sentenced him to 10 years on that one. And that was to run after he finished his 25 years, he had to do another 10. So it was a total of 35 years. But my point is, people say that we should legalize drugs. Look at the opiate problem that the United States has right now. I mean, it's pitiful. And I feel sorry for these people. They need help, no doubt. But the punishment for the people that are pushing this stuff, to me, a life sentence isn't strong enough. It needs to be more than that. And Thailand proved that by trying to make it unattractive to be a drug dealer. Now, we have walked this before, I know. And this is a really interesting street. But I think we're going to go right here. This will eventually take you up to Chiang Mai Gate. I hope I can map this out afterwards, but we're going to go to the right. But, that was the case that these two kids were just sitting out in their front yard under a shady tree, working on their car. Both of the kids are good kids. They both had jobs down at the carpet mill in Georgia. had never been in trouble, and some crazy guy ends the guy's life, you know, and just shoots him. The mother filed well, actually it wasn't the mother, it was his wife filed a civil suit against the guy's name. And his name, I don't mind saying his name was Charles Overby. And they filed a civil suit against him. They took his house. His house was paid for. They took his house. And as a matter of fact, when we arrested him, he had a great big hunk of gold around his neck, hung on a chain, and we logged that into evidence. And the lady's attorney was a guy by the name of Randy Rogers, and Randy's an old country boy, just nice guy. And he shows up one day with a court order for us to turn that piece of gold over to him. He had filed for that as well. And while he was there, I said, Randy, I said, what's the liabilities from the state of Georgia? Because, I mean, the wildlife officer said he had his car locked. We tore the door apart, and we looked for any signs that the door had been jimmied or anything like that. We didn't find anything. Basically, I think what he did was he pulled the car up in front of his house and just got out and didn't lock the doors. And he lived out in the country, so that, you know, that wouldn't be uncommon for him, but it was really kind of stupid. Well, Randy, you know, I figured that the state of Georgia was going to get one heck of a lawsuit against him for being responsible for, you know, for this kid's death. And Randy told me no, that they couldn't, because the state of Georgia didn't actually commit the crime. It was the defendant. Although the state of Georgia provided him a means of committing the crime by the car, it was, you know, it was kind of like an act of nature. It wasn't anything that they were liable for. And he couldn't file a lawsuit against the state. I would have thought that he could have. But, you know, the bad thing about it is, you know, a 19-year-old kid's life was, you know, was just snuffed out there for absolutely no reason at all. This kid didn't hurt anybody. You know, he was looking forward to a, you know, nice life with his wife, and it just devastated his mother. His mother was just, she was in pieces for years, and she ended up starting a victims' rights group, and was pretty successful in getting some laws and some things changed where there could be some compensation paid to victims of crimes, which was really good. But you know, to legalize, just point blank legalize drugs, no, I'm not going to be for that. Not now, not ever. Now, like I said, being lenient on those addicted, I have no problem with that. I think you should be lenient on them, and they need to get them some help. And I'll just tell you, I had 3 or 4 good friends that were police officers that were all addicted to opiates. And one by one, they fell one by one. And it turned out that in most of the cases, they had been to a doctor, and the doctor had subscribed Oxycontin. One was a female, and she had broke her foot, and the doctor prescribed Oxycontin, and she was addicted. She was actually breaking into veterinary offices at night and stealing their drugs, and she ended up getting caught. And then the other guy, he had a tooth pulled, and he got addicted to them. Hello. Bird, yeah, Nook. Hey, little buddy. They okay? Oh, you're all right. Go back to sleep. They're all bark. He's telling me they don't bite. But it happens, you know, so, you know, it happens to the best of people. So until they figure out a way to stop it, you know, it's just a runaway situation. Now, when I was a cop, we didn't have to carry Narcan in the car, but you know, I've talked to the officers that are working today, and they all have it in their car. The overdoses are so bad. Now, we don't see that many overdoses here, per se. Yeah, the guy's fixing a fan. But, hello. Swadee Kap. Fix fan.
Yeah.
Okay. You do radios too?
You speak.
Thai? Nah, radio.
Oh, radio.
You fix radio too?
Oh.
Okay. He speaks about as much English as I do speak Thai, but that's okay. But it's pitiful. I hate to see that happen. I hate to see people suffer like that. This is a neat little area. When I came out the last time, I came back this way. Matter of fact, those two dogs were locked behind the gate, and I thought I was worried they were going to get out. He wasn't out there at the time. But there's a neat little store up here. Hello.
Hello. Where you go?
Just walk.
Walking.
Walking.
Look around.
Look around, take a video.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, kitty. They're selling hot dog, meatball. Kind of neat. Neat little area here. God, these houses are so close in. Beauty salon. I know this video is running a little bit long, but this is really some cool stuff to see. Country store. And you got your laundromat right here. Okay, now we walked down here. The last time and we went straight, I think. Or we went that way. Yeah. So we kind of walked around in a circle. Well, listen, I'm going to close the video out now. I appreciate you coming in and watching it. I hope you lasted this long. And I appreciate all the comments and everything from everybody. And like I said, Sunday night or Saturday night, if you're not doing anything, I think it's probably going to be Saturday night would be Saturday morning for you all in the States because of the time difference. I'll let this truck get by me. But drop in and drop into the live stream. We have a good time. Lek was in for a little while last time. With the Queen passing away, they've stopped her football, so she doesn't have football to watch. So maybe she'll stop in this weekend. But anyway, I appreciate you all stopping in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.